Captain Maya Chen stared at the holographic display, watching as the last transmission from Earth played again. The massive Valkyrie warships descended through the atmosphere, their distinctive crescent shapes blocking out the sun over major cities. Defense platforms erupted in flames, their weapons proving useless against the advanced shielding technology of the alien invaders. The transmission ended abruptly with a blinding flash as the command center was vaporized. Maya closed her eyes, allowing herself one moment of grief before straightening her uniform and facing her crew on the bridge of the Sentinel. The experimental vessel represented humanity's most advanced technology, and now its last hope. "Status report," she ordered, her voice steady despite the weight pressing down on her chest. Lieutenant Kira Novak looked up from her console. "All systems functioning at optimal capacity, Captain. Quantum drive is stable, and we remain undetected in orbit around Proxima IV. Weapons diagnostics complete," reported Tactical Officer Rajmeta. "The prototype resonance cannon is operational, but we still have no data on its effectiveness against Valkyrie shields." Maya nodded. The Sentinel was unlike any vessel humans had built before. Smaller than a standard destroyer but packed with experimental technology that even the Earth Defense Force hadn't fully understood. It was meant to be humanity's prototype for a new defense fleet. Instead, it had become the last guardian of a nearly extinct species. "Communications, any response from the Arcturus colony?" Maya asked, though she already knew the answer. Communications Officer Lai Wei shook his head. "Nothing, Captain. Same as New Mars and Europa Station. The Valkyrie hit them all within hours of Earth's fall." Maya pulled up the star chart on her personal display. In just 3 weeks, the Valkyrie Empire had systematically eliminated every major human settlement in colonized space. Their tactics were ruthlessly efficient, their technology centuries beyond humanity's. Yet the Sentinel had survived, hidden away during its test runs when the invasion began. "Dr. Alvarez, what's the status of your analysis?" Maya asked, turning to the ship's lead scientist. Elena Alvarez looked up from her workstation, dark circles under her eyes, evidence of days without proper sleep. "I've been studying the battle footage we managed to download before Earth fell. There's something unusual about the Valkyrie shields." The bridge crew turned their attention to the scientist as she pulled up the enhanced footage on the main screen. It showed a Valkyrie cruiser under attack from Earth's orbital defense platforms. Most weapons fire dissipated harmlessly against the alien vessel's shields, but in a few instances, there was a momentary flicker. "There," Elena pointed. "See that fluctuation? It occurs when our phase cannons hit at precisely 47.3 degrees relative to their shield emitters at a specific frequency range. For a microsecond, their shields become unstable." Maya leaned forward, studying the footage. "Can we exploit this?" "Possibly," Elena nodded. The Sentinel's resonance cannon was designed to disrupt energy fields rather than cause physical damage. If we can calibrate it to match the exact frequency that causes this instability, we might be able to punch through their defenses," Maya finished. A small spark of hope ignited in her chest. "How long?" 2 days, maybe 3, to reconfigure the weapon systems." Before Maya could respond, the ship's AI alerted them to an approaching vessel. "Valkyrie scout ship detected at extreme sensor range. Engage stealth systems," Maya ordered without hesitation. The lights dimmed as the Sentinel went dark, its heat signature and energy emissions dropping to near undetectable levels. On the view screen, a sleek Valkyrie scout vessel passed through the system, its sensors sweeping the area. For tense minutes, the bridge crew held their breath. The scout continued on its course, oblivious to the human vessel hiding in the darkness of space. When it disappeared from their sensors, collective relief spread through the bridge. "That was too close," Kira said. Maya nodded, "and it confirms they're still searching for survivors. We need more information about their deployment patterns and fleet movements. If there are any human survivors out there, we need to find them before the Valkyrie do." She studied the star map again, focusing on a small station marked in yellow. Proxima Trading Post. It's a neutral outpost frequented by dozens of species. If we're going to gather intelligence without being detected, that's our best bet. Captain, Raj cautioned, that's dangerously close to a major Valkyrie patrol route, which is precisely why it's perfect, Maya replied. They won't expect us to operate so close to their forces. Navigation. Plot a course that keeps us out of standard sensor range. We'll approach using minimal power. As the crew prepared for the mission, Maya retreated to her quarters. The small room contained everything she had left. A bunk, a desk, and a holoframe currently displaying a family photo. Her parents, sister, and nephews smiled back at her from happier times. They had been on Earth when the Valkyrie struck. Maya activated her personal log. Captain's log, stardate 225743. Earth has fallen. Our colonies have been systematically destroyed. As far as we know, the Sentinel may be the last operational military vessel of human origin. Our mission has changed from testing experimental technology to ensuring the survival of our species. Dr. Alvarez has identified a potential weakness in Valkyrie shielding technology. It's not much, but it's something. Tomorrow we risk everything to gather intelligence at Proxima Trading Post. If there are human survivors out there, we will find them. And somehow, we will strike back. She closed the log and stared at the photo once more. I won't let them win, she whispered. I promise. The Proxima Trading Post hung in space like a tarnished bronze wheel, rotating slowly to generate gravity in its outer rings. Ships of various designs docked at its spokes, representing dozens of species from across the galactic sector. The Sentinel approached cautiously, transmitting forged identification codes that designated it as a merchant vessel from the Rigelian Confederacy. Docking Control is requesting details on our cargo, reported Lai. Send them the manifest we prepared, Maya replied. Remember, we're independent traders carrying industrial polymers and medical supplies. Maya had chosen 4 crew members for the ground team. Herself, Lieutenant Novak for security, Dr. Alvarez to identify any useful technology, and Ensign Park for his linguistic skills. They wore civilian clothes specially modified to conceal their human features, hats to hide their distinctive ears, tinted lenses for their eyes, and synthetic skin patches to cover exposed areas with a slight bluish tint common to Rigelians. Their disguises wouldn't hold up to close inspection, but in the crowded, dimly lit trading post, they hoped to blend in enough to avoid attention. Remember, Maya instructed as they prepared to leave the ship, we're here for information only. Avoid direct contact with any Valkyrie. If you're approached, let Ensign Park do the talking. Meet back here in 3 hours, no matter what. The trading post's main concourse assaulted their senses with exotic smells, the cacophony of alien languages, and the press of bodies both familiar and utterly foreign. Merchant stalls lined the walkways, selling everything from luxury goods to contraband technology. Maya moved confidently through the crowd, her eyes constantly scanning for threats or opportunities. Their first stop was the station's public data terminals, where Dr. Alvarez discreetly uploaded a specialized virus designed to sift through recent communications traffic. The virus would search for any mentions of human survivors or Valkyrie fleet movements before self-deleting. Meanwhile, Maya and Kira made their way toward the central hub where information flowed as freely as the intoxicants served at its many lounges. They chose a dimly lit establishment called the Event Horizon, known for its clientele of ship crews and mercenaries. Maya ordered drinks that would look convincing but remained untouched as she listened to the conversations around them. Most were mundane, complaints about trade routes disrupted by increased Valkyrie activity, rumors of new weapon technologies, the ever-fluctuating value of rare elements. Then a name caught her attention. At a corner table, 2 reptilian sergeants were speaking in low voices with a hulking Dravid merchant. Haven is what they're calling it, the Dravid rumbled. The humans established it beyond the outer rim, before the Valkyrie found Earth. Maya tensed but kept her expression neutral, slowly shifting position to hear better. "A fool's errand," one Sarkshan replied. "The Valkyrie fleet will find them eventually. Grand Marshal Xorak has already deployed the Supreme Fleet to the sector." "The Supreme Fleet?" the other Sarkshan hissed. "For a few thousand human refugees." The Dravid leaned forward. "The Valkyrie aren't taking chances. Something about human technology concerns them greatly. There are rumors that the attack on Earth wasn't just about territorial expansion. They feared something the humans were developing." Maya's pulse quickened. Could they be referring to the Sentinel and its experimental systems? If so, the Valkyrie might not know that the prototype ship had survived. Her thoughts were interrupted when the lounge door slid open, revealing 3 Valkyrie officers in their distinctive silver and black uniforms. The room fell silent as the tall, slate-skinned aliens surveyed the establishment with their 4 amber eyes. Maya took a deep breath. "Then we're as ready as we'll ever be. Begin Operation Trojan." The Sentinel moved silently through the nebula's outer boundary, its stealth systems rendering it nearly invisible against the backdrop of ionized gases and stellar debris. The Valkyrie Supreme Fleet was still 12 hours from arrival, giving them time to position their trap. "Launch probe drones, randomized deployment pattern," Maya ordered. The small unmanned vessels streaked away from the Sentinel, each programmed to mimic the energy signature and movement patterns of different ships, from small fighters to medium cruisers. Once in position, they would remain dormant until activated, creating the illusion of a small defensive fleet. "Now we wait," Maya said quietly. "All stations, minimum power, passive sensors only." Hours passed in tense silence as the crew monitored the approaching Valkyrie fleet. Maya used the time to record what might be her final log entry. "Captain's log, supplemental. In less than 2 hours, we will engage the Valkyrie Supreme Fleet in what can only be described as a desperate gambit. Our mission is threefold: to disrupt their command structure, to test the effectiveness of our resonance cannon against their shields, and to buy time for Haven to prepare its defenses. The crew understands the odds against us. None asked to be relieved of duty when I explained the mission parameters. I've never been prouder to serve with any group of officers. If we fail, this record may be all that remains of humanity's final resistance. If we succeed, perhaps there's still hope for our species." As she finished recording, the ship's AI alerted them to the arrival of the first Valkyrie vessels at the nebula's perimeter. "They're deploying sensor drones," Kira reported. "Standard procedure for nebula operations. Their main fleet is holding position outside the interference zone." "Right on schedule," Maya nodded. "Communications, stand by to intercept and replace their sensor readings. Let's show them what we want them to see." As the Valkyrie sensor drones penetrated the nebula, Lee's modified algorithms intercepted their data transmissions, substituting false readings that showed energy signatures consistent with a small outpost and several patrol vessels. Exactly what the Valkyrie would expect from a refugee colony with limited resources. The response was immediate. The Valkyrie fleet began to divide, with smaller attack groups spreading out to surround the nebula, while the main force prepared to drive straight through to the Phantom colony's location. "They're taking the bait," Raj confirmed, watching the tactical display as the Valkyrie ships moved precisely where they wanted them. "Main battle group is advancing toward our probe network. Estimate contact in 20 minutes." Maya nodded. "Prepare to activate the probes on my mark. Engineering, stand by for emergency power to weapons and shields." As the Valkyrie battle group penetrated deeper into the nebula, Maya could make out their formation on the long-range sensors. At its center was the command ship, a massive crescent-shaped vessel 3 times the size of Earth's largest battleship. Surrounding it were dozens of cruisers and destroyers, arranged in a protective formation. "That's the Imperial Fist," Maya said, studying the command ship. "Grand Marshal Xorak's personal flagship. According to intelligence, he never leaves that command center during combat operations, which makes it our primary target," Kira noted. Maya nodded. "Exactly. On my mark, Activate probe sequence Alpha. Communications, prepare our little message for the Grand Marshal. The seconds ticked by as the Valkyrie fleet moved deeper into their trap. When they reached the optimal position, Maya gave the command. Now, across the nebula, the dormant probes suddenly activated, each projecting energy signatures that mimicked power-ups of weapon systems and engines. To Valkyrie sensors, it would appear as if several ships had suddenly emerged from hiding, preparing to attack. Simultaneously, Lai transmitted a message on the Valkyrie command frequency, his virus making it appear to originate from a Valkyrie scout vessel. Supreme Command, multiple human vessels detected on intercept course. Unknown weapon signatures registering. Request immediate support. The Valkyrie fleet reacted exactly as Maya had predicted, breaking their tight formation as vessels moved to engage the perceived threats from multiple directions. In the confusion, a gap appeared in their defensive screen, a direct line to the command ship. Full power to engines, Maya ordered. Attack vector locked on the Imperial Fist. All power to forward shields, and the resonance cannon. The Sentinel surged forward from its hiding place, accelerating to attack speed as it streaked through the gap in the Valkyrie formation. By the time their sensors detected the actual human vessel, the Sentinel was already past their outer defensive line. Valkyrie vessels are responding, Kira reported, her voice tense but controlled. Multiple weapons locks detected. Impact in 15 seconds. Evasive pattern Delta, Maya commanded. Maintain course to target. Dr. Alvarez, begin resonance cannon charging sequence. The Sentinel shuddered as the first Valkyrie energy blasts struck its shields. The experimental defensive system held, but power levels dropped alarmingly. Shields at 67%, Raj reported. We can't take much more of this. We won't have to, Maya replied, her eyes fixed on the massive command ship growing larger on the view screen. Prepare to fire resonance cannon on my mark. The Sentinel rolled and pitched, avoiding the worst of the incoming fire as it closed the distance to the Imperial Fist. The Valkyrie command ship's defenses opened up, filling space with deadly energy beams that the smaller human vessel barely evaded. In range in 5, 4, 3. Alina counted down. Fire, Maya ordered. The resonance cannon discharge, sending a concentrated beam of quantum-shifted energy directly at the Imperial Fist's primary shield emitter. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing happened. Then, exactly as Elena had predicted, a cascade of energy fluctuations rippled across the massive vessel's shields. Direct hit, Elena exclaimed. Shield harmonics destabilizing. Raj, all conventional weapons, target their bridge section. Maya commanded. The Sentinel's secondary weapons opened fire, sending a barrage of high-energy projectiles at the momentarily vulnerable command ship. The explosions blossomed against the hull of the Imperial Fist, causing visible damage for the first time in the battle. Their shields are attempting to reestablish, Elena warned. We have maybe 30 seconds before they adapt. Communications, open a channel to the Valkyrie command frequency, Maya ordered. Let's make sure we have their attention. When Lai nodded, indicating the channel was open, Maya spoke clearly and confidently. This is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth vessel Sentinel to Grand Marshal Xorak. Your shields have failed. Your command structure is compromised. This is just the beginning of what human technology can do against your forces. The response was immediate. A harsh, multi-tone voice translated by the ship's computer. Human vessel, this is Grand Marshal Xorak. Your attack is futile. You have revealed your presence and your weapons capabilities. The extinction of your species is inevitable. Is it? Maya replied. Look around you, Marshal. Your fleet is in disarray. Your flagship is damaged. And you still haven't found haven. Perhaps you should reconsider the resources you're expending to eliminate a primitive species. Before Xorak could respond, the tactical situation changed dramatically. The Imperial Fist shields began to restabilize, and the surrounding Valkyrie vessels were regrouping, closing in on the Sentinel from all sides. "Captain, we're surrounded," Kira reported urgently. "Escape vectors are closing." Resonance cannon recharged at 62%. Alina added, "Not enough for another full-powered shot." Maya assessed their options rapidly. They had achieved their primary objective, demonstrating the vulnerability in Valkyrie shield technology and damaging the command ship. Now they needed to survive to deliver this intelligence to Haven. "All power to engines," she ordered. "Evasive pattern Omega. Set course for the densest part of the nebula." The Sentinel pivoted sharply, its engines flaring as it accelerated away from the regrouping Valkyrie forces. Energy beams sliced through space around them, several scoring hits on their weakening shields. "Shields at 31%, Raj reported. "Hull breach on Deck 3. Emergency force fields holding. Reroute auxiliary power to shields," Maya commanded. "Communications, transmit all our data on the resonance cannon and shield vulnerability on the Haven emergency frequency." As the Sentinel raced deeper into the nebula, the pursuing Valkyrie vessels began to fall behind, their larger size making navigation through the dense gas clouds more difficult. But Maya knew they couldn't outrun the entire fleet for long. "I'm detecting anomalous energy readings ahead," Alina suddenly reported. "It appears to be some kind of spatial distortion." Maya studied the sensor readings. "Is it natural?" "No," Alina replied, her voice filled with surprise. "It's artificial, and it's emitting a signal on a human frequency." The view screen adjusted to show what appeared to be a rippling distortion in the fabric of space, barely visible against the colorful backdrop of the nebula. "It's a jump point," Maya realized. "A concealed hyperspace entry node. Haven must have deployed it as an escape route." "The signal contains navigation coordinates," Lai confirmed, his fingers dancing across his console. "And a message. Sentinel, follow these coordinates. Friends waiting." Maya hesitated only briefly. The coordinates could be a trap, but their options were rapidly diminishing as the Valkyrie fleet reorganized its pursuit. "Lock in those coordinates," she decided. "All power to engines. Let's hope our friends have better hospitality than our current company." The Sentinel accelerated toward the spatial distortion, which grew larger as they approached. Behind them, the Valkyrie vessels fired desperately, trying to prevent their escape. "Impact in 3 seconds, Kira warned. The ship shuddered violently as enemy fire struck their aft section. Warning lights flashed across the bridge as systems failed. "Shields collapsed," Raj shouted. "Hull integrity at 47%. "Hold together," Maya whispered to her ship as they reached the jump point. The distortion enveloped them, space itself seeming to fold around the Sentinel as it was pulled into the hyperspace corridor. In an instant, the pursuing Valkyrie fleet vanished from their sensors, replaced by the swirling tunnel of hyperspace. The violent shaking subsided, though damage alarms continued to sound throughout the vessel. "Status report," Maya ordered, gripping her chair as the ship stabilized. "Multiple hull breaches sealed by emergency force fields," Raj reported. "Propulsion at 63%. Weapons systems offline. Life support stable." "The jump point collapsed behind us," Alina added. "No sign of pursuit. The Valkyrie can't follow our exact route." Maya allowed herself a small smile. "Then we've done it. We've survived the first battle. And showed them we can hurt them," Kira added with grim satisfaction. "Navigation. How long until we reach the coordinates?" Maya asked. "At current speed, 17 minutes, came the reply. Maya nodded and opened a shipwide channel. "All hands, this is the captain. Today we struck the first meaningful blow against the Valkyrie Empire. We've demonstrated that their technology is not invulnerable. We've damaged their flagship and disrupted their command structure. Most importantly, we've survived to bring vital intelligence to our people. I don't know what awaits us at our destination, but I do know this. Today marks the beginning of humanity's resistance, not its end. Stand ready and prepare for arrival." As the Sentinel traveled through hyperspace, Maya stared at the tactical display showing the battle data they had gathered. The resonance cannon had worked better than they had dared hope. With refinement, it could become a weapon capable of challenging Valkyrie dominance. And if Haven had managed to establish hidden jump points throughout the nebula, they had infrastructure beyond what Maya had expected. For the first time since Earth fell, she allowed herself to believe that humanity might not just survive, but eventually reclaim its place among the stars. 17 minutes later, the Sentinel emerged from hyperspace into a region of space unlike any Maya had seen before. The nebula here was less dense, revealing a breathtaking sight, an asteroid field that had been transformed into a hidden shipyard. Vessels of various sizes were under construction in asteroid caverns and floating docks. At the center of the activity was a space station of clearly human design, but incorporating technologies Maya didn't recognize. "My God," Kira whispered, "there must be dozens of ships here." "Incoming transmission," Lai announced. "Human frequency, authenticated Earth Defense Force encryption." On screen, Maya ordered, straightening her uniform. The view screen flickered to life, showing the face of an older man in a uniform Maya recognized. Admiral William Chen, her father, who she had believed died with Earth. "Maya," he said, his eyes filling with tears. "Welcome to Haven, or as we're now calling it, the Resistance." Maya struggled to maintain her composure. "Admiral, request permission to dock for repairs and to deliver critical intelligence on Valkyrie shield vulnerabilities." "Permission granted, Captain," he replied with pride evident in his voice. "And well done. The data you've already transmitted is being incorporated into our weapon systems as we speak. Your arrival couldn't be better timed. We're preparing to launch our first counteroffensive." The view screen widened to show the bridge of his command vessel, where officers worked at various stations. Maya was stunned to see technology that appeared more advanced than anything Earth had possessed before its fall. "How?" she asked simply. "We weren't alone in fearing the Valkyrie Empire," her father explained. "We've formed alliances with other species who've suffered under their expansion. The Tellarians provided hyperspace jump point technology. The Corvin engineers helped us develop new propulsion systems. And now you've brought us the key to defeating their defenses." As the Sentinel approached the station, Maya saw the emblem painted on its side, Earth's traditional laurel wreath surrounding a phoenix rising from flames. The Valkyrie thought they were eliminating a primitive species of little consequence. Admiral Chen continued, his expression hardening with determination. "Instead, they've created the alliance that will bring down their empire. Today was just the first battle, Maya. Tomorrow, we take the fight to them." As the Sentinel docked with the station, Maya looked around at her exhausted but proud crew. They had set out as the last defenders of a dying species and returned as the vanguard of humanity's resurrection. "Well," she said with a smile, "it seems we have work to do."